Welcome everybody to another bonus episode book launch. Today we have a friend of the podcast. We have Shultz, who is a founder of Alchemy Sports Performance. He's a podcaster and he devotes his life to the pursuit of greatness through his Edge of Greatness podcast. Hey, Charles, thanks for coming on.
Eric, thanks for having me back. I love these little mini episodes you decide to do. It's awesome. I appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate all the stuff that you're doing and all the content that you're putting out on Twitter, Instagram, all the places that you've been putting your information out. It's great, and we have a brand new book.
Yeah,
That's awesome. That's awesome. Your first book. Let's just talk first. Your first book was "Be Great: Lessons Learned from Life in the Dirt," and that was your story.
yeah.
Okay, this is completely different.
Oh yeah, very different. Very different for sure.
This one is Master of the Seas of the Sea. Um, One, tell us why you decided to write a new book.
Um, so the first book was cool because it was a little bit of me digging into my past and seeing just how much I've actually learned over the course of my life. It was pretty cool to see how many experiences that I've had and what I remembered from those experiences and how I can share that knowledge for the next generation to learn from some of my mistakes, to grow from some of my experiences. And this one, I wanted to go a different direction because I don't think younger generation people are going to enjoy the first book as much. I mean, they might if they know me, but it's a little bit more in lines with like a autobiography. You know, it's not that type of story. So I'm a big fan of John Gordon's. I love his work. I love the way he tells stories to get lessons across. And I like telling stories too. So this was an opportunity for me to try my hand at telling a story with a lesson and using my experiences to share that new story and be creative and kind of go down a different path. And that's what this one's about. It's a young man who is going to be a sophomore in high school, just had a really good freshman year, but feels like he's made it. I've already done it. I don't need your help. I got a handle on it. I'm good. You know, I've started as a freshman. I'm really good. Just cool. I got this. And then he goes to live with his uncle and he starts to learn that, okay, maybe I don't have this all figured out. Maybe I should start to pay attention and learn some of these lessons. And his uncle takes him on a journey of learning of how to navigate this wide ocean and sea of possibilities. And how do we get to where we want to go when we can't see our destination, when we don't really have a bearing of who we are and where we want to go.
Awesome. Awesome. So is there a little bit of Charles in this book? In that kid?
You know, I thankfully I don't think, well, no, in all fairness, I guess yes. As a high school kid, no, that wasn't me. I was very grounded. I was very dedicated to my craft. I was very focused on getting better. But I guess it's fair to say that, yeah, I got blinded by the success I had as a freshman in college. And, you know, I've told my story on here before about how I stopped doing some of the little things. I got distracted by the fun and the joy of just being a college kid. And, you know, I didn't realize it, I guess, when I wrote it, that might be part of the reason for this kind of angle and this type of story. Maybe I wish I had an Uncle Theo to pull me back in and show me the ropes before I would have gotten so far off course. But maybe, you know, this will help somebody else who's kind of in that same shoe.
Awesome. I got a chance to preview the book thanks to you, and I just found it as a great book because, one, if you're looking for just a nice story, it's a great story in itself. But then while you're reading the book, you start to question things about you, and you start learning a little bit about, hey, you know, I can relate to that, and I can relate to that. And then at the end, I found myself, okay, what can I do to be a little bit better? Like, what are these things? And it's stuff that I didn't plan on doing. It just, because it's a quick book. I mean, it's a quick read.
It's a very quick read.
Yeah. So it's not something that you're going to be, okay, I'll pick it up and then I'll pick it up later on. And it's a quick read. And usually quick reads, you read it, you put it down, you're done. But for some reason, I found that I started questioning myself. Um, One, is that kind of what you wanted to accomplish during with this book?
I mean, first I gotta say thank you, because that's a fantastic review for me. Because yes, that was my hope. Like I said before, the first one's longer, and I wanted something that no matter what your reading level was, no matter what your experience in life was, no matter who you were, one, you could, like you said, enjoy the story. I think it's a fun little story about a young man trying to figure life out, and he's got some people who help him learn some lessons. But two, they say we tell the stories that we need the most, and I think that that's kind of what this is all about, is that the pursuit of greatness and the pursuit of excellence and chasing something bigger than yourself is always hard. You never make it, right? You're always trying to do the next step in the journey. And sometimes, we find this moment where we look up and we're lost at sea. We don't see the destination we're searching for. And that was kind of my thing, is, can we reflect on what happens when that's the case? Do you just pull your oars out of the water and wait for the next big wind to blow you where you want to go? Or can you say, you know what? No, I know who I am. I know what I want. This is the heading I need to go on. Let's get my oars in the water. Let's start going. And eventually I think I'll find what I'm looking for. And that was kind of the idea behind this, is that we all have moments where we doubt ourselves. We all have moments where we're confused or lost. We all have moments that are hard. But if we become masters of our life, masters of the sea, we can learn to navigate through those tough moments and find a way forward, find a way through it.
Awesome. I found that after I read the book, the first thing I thought of is this would be a great book as a team read. Uh, what are you trying to accomplish from this? Is that the type of thing you're looking to accomplish? I mean, what's the bearing?
I would love for it to be a team read. I think it's a great story for middle school and high school athletes. I think it can relate to a college athlete or a coach. I think they can figure out and get something from it. But I think the main target audience is the younger athlete, to the one who's been told, "Oh man, you're so good." Well, don't get blinded by that, because that can change. Or the kid who's struggling to find out where they want to go because they don't know who they are. That kid can get something from this. And I think in the same sense, a coach who maybe is new to coaching may be able to get something out of it, or who's been doing it a while, maybe lost their bearings. I think that can be relatable to that person. But ultimately, yeah, I would love for it to be a book that teams get their hands on and they do a reading, and then maybe I can come and talk to them a little bit more about it. Cause I do want to develop my speaking opportunities. I want to get in front of people, because I think that's where my biggest impact is. My writing is just a way for me to, I guess, draw people in. It's my my line in the water while I'm fishing,
Right.
Maybe eventually I'll catch a big one. But ultimately, I think my strength is in person, getting to know the people I'm talking to, connecting with them, and then delivering a message that coincides with the story they just read, or can go deeper into some of those areas of some of those chapters and some of those lessons.
That's great. It's I like it because I don't think many high school or middle school coaches actually do team reading. I think that's more like a college and higher type of thing. And I think it's because there's nothing like this that is to their level where they'll really get to know what they're talking about. Because the other kind of books are, talking about like John Gordon, things like that. I think those are kind of a little bit above that middle school and high school kid.
Yeah.
Th-
I would
this is,
agree.
yeah, I think this is somewhere where that new coach, like you said, can say, "Hey, this book is right at their level."
Mhm.
So if people want to get this book, how can they get it?
There's two ways to get it. The first one's through my website. So if you're looking for an autographed copy, you can go there. It's theedgeofgreatnessproject.com. Just go to the shops. There'll be the books. They're both there. The new one's obviously up there with it. It's the first thing you'll see when you click on the shop. That would get you an autographed copy. I'll mail it out to you the next day. If you want to just get it from Amazon, it's on there as well, and they'll ship it to you directly. If you are a coach and you're looking for the team read stuff, connect with me via my email, charles@theedgeofgreatnessproject.com, because I'll give you a discount. So you're not paying full retail price for the book. I'll hook you up a little bit, so that way, because I know a lot of these sports budgets, depending on where you're at, are limited, and if I can get it into more hands, that's the goal. So I'm trying to help those guys out and make it a little bit more accessible.
Awesome. Awesome. And if people want to follow you on social media, how can they do that?
Yeah, I'm active on Twitter, at Charles _ Shultz, or Coach Schultz 7. I honestly, I forget what my Twitter handle is. It's been a minute since I've not been as active lately, because I've been busy with the new kid and getting some of these other things done. So, but I am on there. I've actually transitioned over to writing a lot on LinkedIn. So you can look me up on LinkedIn, just my name. And yeah, the website also has blog posts, and you can connect with my newsletter and some different things like that. So there's a couple different avenues to find me.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, I'll put all that information on the show notes. Again, the book is Master of the Sea, and you can get it on his website. Go get it for your team. Actually, Christmas time is around now. Great stocking stuffer. Pick one up. Charles,
Absolutely.
thank you again.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you having me on.
Take care.